right, so moving on to our first short shot, we are celebrating the 90s. We all love the 90s, partially because we grew up in them. Grew up is even a misnomer.
I was pretty grown.
Yeah, we were experiencing our adolescences, defining our self-identities in the 90s. So there's some bands that are now touring again, and I know Kristen is especially excited about some of those bands. Which are they, Kristen?
I am really, really excited. I've been a diehard Counting Crows fan, which sometimes everybody
maybe you should hold up your
makes
picture.
Everybody makes you apologize kind of for being a diehard Counting Crows fan, but I love them, and they hooked me with Mr. Jones, and ever since then I've been with them. So I've seen them a bunch of times, but they're coming back through, which I'm over the moon about. I'm gonna be like front row fangirl, and they're coming with Toad the Wet Sprocket, which again it's one of the
as one does.
It's one of those lineups where everybody rolls their eyes, but I'm like, yes, I will be there. I'm gonna get there early. I'll wear my T-shirt.
When Gin Blossoms blew through town, and I can't tell you how many Facebook posts I saw, just in absolute revelry.
They were my first concert. It's great. So I do have a picture with Adam Duritz, who is my. If we have a
he looks
male,
pretty happy.
He looks
or
happy.
Stoned.
Yeah, happy is a good word.
Both.
Happy to be stoned.
But I got to meet him, and I caught a drumstick. That my first concert. It was literally like one of the best nights of my life, aside from like my wedding and my kids being born. I was like 13. It was like right after they hit, and so we went, and I had to get permission from my mom to go, and we snuck up to the front, and then they were done with the show, and the light was shining down, and I was in heaven. And then at the end, they had snapped this drumstick and they threw it out, and I did a Jordan jump, and I caught the drumstick. And then afterward, all the band members were hanging out by the tour bus, and so they made it a mission to make sure everybody signed it, and everybody
cracked,
got it.
And it looks like it's been well used. It's not like just
There's
some
Adam's
pulled out of it.
signature.
And Adam's signature is right here. And then I got to meet them, and it was literally one of my best nights ever. So I cannot wait for that show, and I will be there, and I will be there for Toad the Wet Sprocket too, and I'm not ashamed to admit it.
I love it.
So we've also brought in some CDs. Just real quick, you've got your obligatory Pulp Fiction soundtrack, which I think everybody owns.
I had that.
You've got the most embarrassing, the Squirrel Nut Zippers CD. Okay, that everyone owned and got rid of as quickly as possible.
Is that as embarrassing as Enya? Because I definitely owned
a couple of Enya CDs.
You had Enya?
Orinco Blue, and what was the other one?
Bookending your 9 Inch Nails. That's incredible.
I needed some make-out music in my collection.
Ornico Falls. Get
I
it
needed
right,
that
Omar.
and a Mazzy Star CD, and I was all set for the night. So Elastica, which still holds up. Great album. No Alternative, which collects, I think probably every band we've talked about is probably on here somewhere. Letters to Cleo, who I still love. Still listen to. I follow Kay Hanley on Twitter. She's amazing. The Weezer Blue Album. This is the Deluxe 2-disc edition. And I think everyone had this one, Pearl Jam 10.
Yep. Oh, yes.
Yep.
Huge.
And I still listen to Hole. And this I have a very distinct memory of this album. I bought this right when I moved to Austin as an intern. I bought it at the Best Buy on Research up north. Put this in my car, went down Mopac for the first time, and this was my soundtrack for moving to Austin and being overwhelmed by Austin. The OK Computer is
pretty much everything by Radiohead still holds up.
Totally.
Okay, let's see. I had my CD pack at home, but I forgot it. However, I've written down some of my favorite gems from that. And they do have crossover with both of you. I have a Better Than Ezra album, which I think you'd appreciate, Kristen.
Absolutely.
That's good.
And then I have the Weezer Blue album. And if there's any embarrassing tour I would like to be a part of, it would be the Weezer Cruise, which you can now take. In fact, one of my friends met the love of her life on a recent Weezer cruise. Let's see. I also enjoyed 9 Inch Nails, but eventually Closer became my karaoke song, and friends of mine, as well as my husband, had to beg me to stop singing it. Okay, who else is I into? Oh, we've talked about Enya. We were talking off mic about Runaway Train and what a watershed cultural moment that music video was. Let's see, Jewel. Oh my God, I was so into Jewel. So the Lemonheads, that was the one legitimately indie band that I was into back then. But besides that, it was a whole lot of Enya, a whole lot of Weezer. I mean, Nirvana. We all had the MTV Unplugged album.
Pixies.
Oh,
they're another band that I saw so many
holds
times
up.
on the reunion circuit that
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I think I'm done with that nostalgia trip.
And then the one band that was just a blip on the radar in the 90s, but then resurged back in the 2000s that I still have a huge affection for is Flaming Lips.
Mm-hmm.
And when I met Wayne Coyne at Fun Fest, like we talked for a little while, we had a good conversation, and then I promptly walked over to a rock ledge and cried in my hands like a little 14-year-old girl. And it was that mythic experience.
I can relate,
yeah. So, okay, we could talk about this all day long.